Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. On the phone line, Mason County Commissioner Kevin Shutty. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing well here, and we've talked not only with you, but other folks in county government over the last couple weeks when it comes to coronavirus. We're going to switch gears just a little bit today, but it'll always be top of mind as there's other county business going on. I talked with Lisa Frazier, the treasurer, a couple weeks back after she made the decision to not postpone property tax payments, but have that availability for folks if, because of their circumstances, they're not able to pay. But that has got to have huge impacts and implications as you guys start to look ahead to next year's budget.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, appreciate you having me on. There's, the coronavirus pandemic that's been on the forefront of everybody's minds here over the past several weeks. Is obviously a pretty serious public health issue, but also, we're also concerned about our economic health as well. We know people are losing work or having hours reduced. We know that businesses are struggling, and families that are struggling as well to make ends meet, and it's going to be a bumpy ride for the next several months. And so, along those lines, our treasurer at the county, Lisa Frazier, is working with folks on a case-by-case basis to do some emergency delay of property tax payments and those kinds of things. But there's a practical reality that comes along with that on the county budget side. And so the commission has been working with staff over the past couple of weeks, and we'll continue to do that over the next several months, looking at kind of what our budget picture looks like for the rest of 2020, and then what do we need to be thinking about and preparing for as we head into 2021. And so we know we're going to see a reduction in revenue. Unlike families and businesses in Mason County, we're going to see a reduction in revenue, and we need to be prepared for that. And so, we're going to consider taking some actions along the lines of hiring freeze, some travel restrictions and purchase restrictions here in the interim, as we try to get a handle on what the budget picture looks like. And so, difficult discussions, but fortunately in the county over the past couple of years, we've worked really hard to restore our rainy day fund and our cash reserves. That is going to help us tremendously weather this storm, so that we won't have to necessarily look at cutting critical services that people rely on in the county. But nevertheless, we need to be mindful of the economic realities that come along with battling the coronavirus.
County government is kind of, state government, too, is in a sense kind of in the middle here, as you're waiting for payments from your constituents in the county. But at the same time, too, you're looking for help from the state level and from the federal level, where we know the feds and the country government, the federal government, can run at deficits where our state government is unable to do those things. So you guys are kind of in a little bit of a waiting game to even see what types of funds will be able to be paid back to you and where that money can come from. Yeah,
absolutely. So, Jeff, great point. The federal government, they can print money, they can do deficit spending. We don't have that ability at the state and county level. We have to have balanced budgets, and so that means we're going to be budgeting based on the revenue that we receive, and we can offset some of that with our rainy day fund, and hopefully, as Congress continues to take action, we'll see some reimbursement for some of the costs associated with our coronavirus response. One of the things that I think will really benefit the county is the commission took early, decisive action to declare an emergency in the county. And so we're able to, this predated even our first confirmed case of coronavirus in the county. And so by doing that, we were able to then build back to that date so that when state and federal relief is available, we're able to go back to that March 13th date where we declared the emergency versus a week or so later when we had our first confirmed case. So it's, there was a lot of thinking ahead on the part of the county, and as it relates to that, I'm really appreciative of Commissioners Trask and Netherland for their work on coming in on the 13th and doing that emergency declaration. I think it'll help us weather the storm quite a bit. One of the other things that we need to be really concerned about too, Jeff, is sort of how do we begin to responsibly reactivate our economy here in Mason County and across the state. First and foremost, we have to have a good and in many cases a better handle on the virus and understanding what it does, how it works, how to prevent it, and how to treat it. But we also have to be very mindful, when we have a better handle on that, how we get our economy back up and running. And so the commission has been working really diligently with staff and with folks at the state level, trying to get things back up and running here as quickly as possible, as soon as possible, up to and including the building industry. We have experienced a lot of growth in Mason County. We've seen a lot of building happening over the past couple of years here. That's all on hold in many cases, based on the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. We're trying to get those projects refired. And so, we've been sending letters to the governor, asking our legislators for help on that. They've been very receptive to it. And as a member of the State Building Code Council, I've asked that organization to delay further implementation of the new Building and Energy Code until July 1st of 2021. For a couple of reasons. One is as the economy gets back online and we have folks like builders going back to work, there's going to be some lag time there where we're going to see some supply chain issues, potentially manufacturers as they get back up and running to do, put together things like windows and doors and all the other components that go into building projects. As they get back up online, what delays we'll see with that is unknown at this point, but we suspect there will be some delays. And so delaying the Building and Energy Code from taking effect until July 1st, 2021 will give that supply chain a chance to catch up. But it also is going to help regulators, so your cities and counties who have to enforce and apply the Building and Energy Code. It's going to give us time to train our staff more effectively. It's going to give us time to be able to understand the ins and outs of the code because there were several changes that were made. And so I'm hopeful that we can take some of these actions now that provide a little bit of certainty for folks in the economy, that give them a chance to catch their breath as things get fired back up, and really puts us in a position that we can make people successful when we do get back to business here, hopefully shortly.
What are some of the things, if you guys have been starting to talk about this, your priorities for the next year's budget when it includes trying to restart the county? Would there be, or has there been any ideas or thoughts of conversations of being anywhere in the budget, if available, to provide masks for every county resident? Or what are some of the things that you guys are talking about to get the constituents in the county to feel safe to go to business again?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, our first priority right now is making sure that we have enough personal protective equipment for folks who are on the front lines of battling the coronavirus. So, yesterday, Commissioner Trask at the Emergency Operations Center received another shipment of PPE from the State Department of Health. Our first priority is let's get those to our medical workers, our nurses, our doctors, other healthcare providers. Let's get those to our first responders, EMTs, firefighters, sheriff's deputies, and police officers. That's really been our main priority, is the people that are dealing with it on the front lines. Let's get them geared up first. There hasn't really been that much of a conversation about, how we begin to, maybe trickle out some of that PPE to other parts of the county and folks in our community. What I've seen, though, is a lot of people, coming together, making sort of homemade PPE, homemade masks, and that kind of thing. I was through the Fred Meyer parking lot the other day in Shelton, and the amount of people that are taking these recommendations seriously, putting together their own masks and their own protective gear is really impressive. And I think we're going to see a combination of both a more formal statewide approach to masks and other things, but I think we're also going to see our community members rise up, take it upon themselves to make their own PPE, so that that it's maybe not surgical grade, but certainly it's another layer to keep them safe. So I think it's going to be a combination of the two.
Well, the county certainly has been adjusting to what we've been going through here with not only the ways the county has met remotely for meetings and daily briefings where everybody's nice and spaced out, but also just the way different events throughout the county have changed and been rescheduled because of all this. So like you just said, I think there's a lot of folks that are really taking all these precautions to heart and really erring on the side of caution, especially right now as it seems like due to some of those early efforts by not only Governor Inslee, but you in county government and throughout the state, Washington really was a model for the rest of the country when it came to these really, at the time they seemed pretty aggressive, these stay home, stay healthy orders. But now looking back, it seems to have put us in a relatively good position. And I'd hate to see too anyone for us to kind of go backwards at all if we're not comfortably ready for this yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right there, Jeff. I think we're weathering the storm. We've had a tremendous amount of people working in our medical centers in Mason County who have worked really hard with their patients to keep people healthy and help people that need it recover. We couldn't do it without them, for sure. But there's the idea that we're weathering the storm, but we're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what the next couple of weeks bring. Hopefully, we can start to layer back in some of our economy, and hopefully we'll learn more about what Governor Inslee's plans are on those. We'll just have to stay tuned. May 4th is right around the corner. Hopefully, by then we'll get a clean bill of health and things will start to get back to normal.
Mason County Commissioner Kevin Shutty working hard in county government along with Commissioners Trask and Netherland as well. Kevin, always nice talking with you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch up again real soon.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.